For decades, higher education was dangerous. Now it's a personal decision. Is that new light or legal strategy? Today, I'm showing how AI helps me check claims, pull receipts, and stay on the right side of the law. Well, we talk about Norway, Japan, changing rules, and what might come next. Back in January, I hit pause, hospitalized, and drained from the XJW work. I told Shauna I needed a full time assistant, and we priced it out. It was 4,000 to 5,500 per month for someone decent. I was ready to quit. And one night on the couch, my good wife says, I hired you an assistant. She handed me Chat GPT, and I started with 4, and now I use Chat GPT-5, the GPT-5 thinking model. It doesn't know everything. It searches, compares, and cites. And it has guardrails and keeps me on track when I'm tired or mad. And without chat, I'm not sure I'd be here delivering this to you today. AI is a research co-pilot. It helps find original documents, align timelines, and flag risky claims so I don't say something that hurts you or me. And if you're an AI skeptic, well, you're using YouTube. Everything's read by AI, all your comments, you're rated, and so on and so forth. All the spam filters, it's all AI. Search ranking. And if you go to Google, well, it's all AI when you're searching. So we have these tools with us. In the olden days, we used to use spell check. That was like our AI. So it's gone a little farther. So I'm just being transparent about this. We all use AI. So that's how this AI works. That's how I use it. I use it to find documents, research, keep me out of legal trouble with my words. And let's go to the next topic. It's interesting. I asked AI the question, what's your read on the Watchtower? And here's its take on the pattern: messaging control, doctrines reframed as personal decisions when legal pressure mounts, education is the latest. Yeah, it's like that lawsuit in Japan right now, where the next generation's going after the Unification Church for stopping them from getting an education. So this isn't done yet. Now, social control, disfellowshipping, shunning, maintained as the key lever. That's what they're going to do. They're still going to use it. That's what AI thinks. Asset strategy, centralizing property, trusts, campuses like Warwick, Ramapo, while selling legacy sites, normal for large charities, but also stronger risk architecture. And legal risk management to pivot policies to blunt lawsuits and regulator heat. Like what's going on in Norway. That's going to change some rules, I think. Okay, so the next section is rapid fire rule changes lately, 2023, 2025. Field service reports simplified, 2023. Publishers just check a box now. Pioneers have to count their time, but that's pretty simple. No one's judging you for not getting your 8 hours a month in. Beards and dress. Normalization. Slacks for sisters increasingly allowed. Ties, jackets, situational. If it's really hot outside, you're going to take all that stuff off. It's not like the old days where you walked around in a black jacket and a tie all day in service. No, they normalized this. Toasting 2025, no rules needed. That's what they framed it as, conscience. Education, now framed as personal decision, 2025. And shunning is still official. Any softening is mostly optics, policy wording. It remains, Well, you can say hi to a DF person at the hall, but that's not loosening up. If you could go for a meal with a family member that's disfellowshipped, now we're changing it. If you can see your grandchildren, that's changing it. You see, that hasn't changed yet. That's something that us apostates have to keep working on. So AI says it's still official. It's not really saying it's going to soften. The word's softened. Next section, global pressure, Norway and Japan. Well, in Norway, JWs won at the Court of Appeal in March 2025, but the Supreme Court accepted the state's appeal. Scrutiny continues. In Japan, media and experts are pushing on second-generation harm and education restrictions. Well, here's AI's forecast. AI says successful legal theories travel. I thought that was interesting. And what does that mean? Expect copycat suits, tighter charity oversight, and targeted criminal exposure for individuals reporting obstruction, not a mass arrest of the org. You see, I asked AI, do you think the governing body is going to get put in jail for covering up CSA? Doesn't it, on every attempt I asked, it said no, doesn't think it'll happen. And I could take you up to the top and show you all its reasons why. If you want to stay until the end, I'll show you all the research that goes into these videos. It's a pile of work, but it's interesting when you have, a $50,000 a year assistant for pennies on the dollar. Okay, forecast for minors after Norway it's clearly speculative. This is the forecast. And it's mostly my words. It just took my words and made it nice. So if Norway keeps the heat on child rights, I predict, and this is me, no more judicial committees for baptized minors. 2 elders do pastoral visits with the parent present. We're writing the new elders book, folks. No public marking for minors. Quiet counsel, no announcement unless it's removal. No public marking. I told chat, you can't, even on removal, you can't do it. I don't agree with that. You see, chat doesn't get it right all the time. But quiet counsel, no announcements. And there's no unless. They're minors. There's no public shame. They can leave. They can quit going. You can still love your child. Your child is not dead. You see, this has to all change. And Norway may just make that happen. Now, no public marking for minors. Penalties shift to parents' privilege. Yeah, that's what they're going to do. Punish the dad. He loses all his privileges. That's what happened to me. Don't punish the child. The dad can take it. And if they would have just punished me, I would have been okay about it. But putting my daughter through 6 elders, like we did a rebuttal, an appeal, 6 elders. And I couldn't stomach it. But anyways, if that went away, Watchtower would be making some good changes. Now, penalty shift to parents. That's what they're going to do. Strip the data privileges, no mics, no literature counter, no 15-minute parts, maybe that you had. If you're an elder, you just lose it all. So the hard line stays on apostasy. So that's where they're going to keep their hard line on, is us. We're spiritually dead. We're really something to be aware of. So that's the hard line. Now we're going to move into the next section, the O'Donnell case, what the filing actually says. Now, about hidden cameras and online meetings, this matters. There's a federal case in Pennsylvania, Burholm Congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses versus Mark O'Donnell. And the filing is titled, and I'm going to pull up the pictures in a bit, Stipulation for Entry of Judgment, dated August 21st, 2025. It shows consent to judgment on a Maryland Wiretap Act count for $215,000 total, $10,000 in liquidated damages, going to the Watchtower, I guess, and $2,005 in attorney fees. Now, that all goes to the Watchtower too, because they use their own lawyers. so they get it all. So it's to be paid on schedule, $100,000 by November 24, 2026, the balance by January 15th, 2027, with post-judgment interest and collection costs. And if overdue, remaining counts are dismissed. This wasn't a jury verdict, it's a negotiated resolution. And I'll put the pages on screen here for a bit so you can read them. Document 98. These are just screenshots off watching Watchtower. I could not get the original, and it's just a screenshot of the front and the back. But the totals are there. So $215,000. So let's talk about that. I'll come back to section 7, and it's important. But let's talk about what a stipulated judgment is, right? So I asked chat, what's a stipulated judgment? And it says it equals a settlement the judge turns into a court judgment. Both sides agree on the terms, example, dollar amount, payment dates, and ask the judge to enter it. There's no trial, and usually no finding of guilt or liability. I thought that was interesting. He wouldn't get a criminal record. And it's a negotiated resolution. Once the judge signs, it's enforceable like any other judgment. If the payments aren't made, the winner can use legal collection tools, go repossess his house or something. Garnish his wage. He's a journalist. I don't know how much he makes. But anyways, they can even garnish your old age pension. I know that for a fact in Canada here. Now, it gives the deal teeth, stronger than a private handshake settlement. It usually ends the rest of the claim in the case, and it often limits appeals. You generally can't agree to a judgment and then appeal it. And what does it not necessarily mean? Well, it's not the same as a jury verdict after a trial. And it doesn't always admit wrongdoing. And many stipulated judgments say no admission, even though the person agrees to pay. So a stipulated judgment is a settlement with a judge's stamp, no trial, but the terms are now a court order, and you must follow it. You have to pay that with interest and collection. If they'll come and collect if you don't pay. So that's what I know on that. I hope that helped you guys to answer that question. Now we're going to get on to something that's really important, I think, for all of us apostates. Hidden cameras and recording, keeping creators safe. So a lot of us have went into kingdom halls perhaps with a hidden camera, or a camera, maybe it's not hidden, but let's read this. A kingdom hall is private property. If they ban recording or ask you to leave and you keep filming, that's trespassing. Secret audio is where many people get burned. Some places are two-party consent. Everyone must agree to being recorded. Example, Mark O'Donnell's case in Pennsylvania. Now in Canada, you can record a conversation you are part of. but intercepting others' audio is illegal. So let's say I had my camera, or well, you might have a door camera, right? Someone might not really know it, and you're standing outside talking to your neighbor. You're recording it all. It's legal. You can share it. A lot of people share door cam stuff. So posting to YouTube puts you under the platform privacy rule, and in the UK, EU, possible data protection complaints. So here's the bottom line. Don't join or record private meetings without explicit invite or consent. And don't share access codes when you get them. You're not doing the guy a favor. If you have an access code, you're not doing the guy a favor. In this case, it cost him $215,000. But what came from that information? I don't know. Does it all get thrown out of court because of how it came out? I don't know. It's another question for chat, I think. Will you guys let me know? I can go all day on this stuff and I can talk about it. But hidden cameras, be careful. 8, membership and long-term outlook. So that's what I asked chat, how long is this organization going to be around? That's what we all want to know. And it said memberships peak, looking big, but and see, I always wonder about transparency, folks. Are these numbers real? See, chat will just take them as real because it's published. So if they become transparent one day and they've been fudging the numbers, they're in big trouble. Now, memberships peak look big, but the hidden story is retention. In wealthier countries, JWs face aging and outflow, offset by some growth elsewhere. So we have all the kids growing up in North America, Canada, and Europe, and the kids don't want to go to the hall anymore. They're quitting. They're fading. So just old people there. But in Africa, it's growing. So, you get to go to an air-conditioned Kingdom Hall, right? And sit there and just veg out in Africa. Oh, this is nice. I got internet. Cool. I'll check in on my friends. But that's how they're getting members, folks. So here's what AI's long-term outlook is. Not a sudden collapse, attrition plus adaptation. So more personal decision framing, like at the education template, possible procedural vagueness on blood coming up in the medium term. They don't want to get sued over that. And the tight lines around apostasy. Expect asset consolidation to continue. So there's going to be a tight line around us. So that's why I'm using AI to help validate everything I'm saying. And I tell AI, this is a legal document. I want this legal. And right down to the thumbnail, and I'll show you. So how viewers can use AI safely. Use it as a fact check buddy, Well, like I wanted to hire an assistant. I wanted someone, like I used to run businesses all my life and I had an assistant. And I just get them to do all the work. I came up with ideas. Then I'd look at their work and tailor it, kind of like what AI does. But you don't have to pay that kind of money. Now, use it as a fact check buddy. Ask it to find the original documents and pull exact wording. And have it flag legal risk before you publish. Let it format scripts, chapters, tags, and thumbnail copy so you can focus on telling the truth. It won't replace your judgment, but it will save your energy. And our next section is support plus coupons plus resources. This work takes time and care. If you value receipts-based reporting, please support the channel so we can keep doing it right. And we have a GoFundMe link on our XJW Friends channel. You can share this video with someone who needs it. And leave a respectful comment to help others find it. That really gets the comment section going. And I'll also keep a small coupons and resources box in the description If I find legit discounts for creator tools or helpful services, I'll add them there. Well, what's next? Be humane, keep the kids out of the crossfire, hold power to account without hurting yourself legally. Live your life with love. I'll pin the updates and the sources in the comments. AI's take. Okay, on this section, I'm just going to speed through this quite rapidly. You're going to just see the screen. And this is how I started today, university. I sent chat my thumbnail, and I said, well, I got an idea from the comments. Someone left me this article here on Japan. And so I ran it through, and it sounds like it could happen to JWs, right? So, regarding the education part. So it made me a whole script. And then I said, this is all good. Can chat check around the world with other chats to get a general consensus for this JW cult? I'd like to make a video and say, this is AI's take on it. This is how AI thinks. How is this organization going to go down for CSA cover-ups? What if they all got thrown into jail? I threw a whole bunch of questions in there. Short answer, I can't check with other chats. So there's your short answer. But I can give you evidence-based global read from credible sources and turn it into a punchy video. So that's how it works. Then it gave me another video, how they face accountability. I thought this was really interesting. And this is where us creators get a bit of education, because you notice all the receipts here. Case study 29, this is a Royal Commission. This is the next one, report of case study 29, abuse and care, New Zealand. So all the receipts are here. I don't show them on screen because chat figures it's too long. Most people get lost in it. You just got to trust that we have receipts. Here's another one, appealed in the Supreme Court. Court of Appeal unanimously turns unconstitutional. So that's their big win. And then Jehovah's Witness case reaches to Norway Supreme Court. Oops. Didn't want to do that because it opens a link up. Now, registered the action collections. This is a Canada-Quebec class action. Quebec class action. Ninth Circuit, that's where Brumley lost his pants. And AI's forecast. So we go through all of this stuff. We've covered it in the video. So then it makes me a video, and I got more questions. So I said, let's keep everything, but add this in. What would you think of the memberships in this religion? Will it die out? These are questions we all have, right? And it says, oh yeah, great angle. I folded in a clean AI outlook. So it gave me a whole clean AI outlook that I could drop in. A lot of times, if you drop them all in yourself, you can get a lot of information to your audience, but the video would become longer. One-liners you can use. Membership peaks don't tell the churn story. Retention does, and JWs have some of the weakest retention measures. Pew Research. They don't have a good reputation. Japan doesn't act in a vacuum. Successful theories travel. Jehovah's Witnesses in Japan, a quantitative study. Yeah, so this is all the stuff I get, and sure enough, I ask it a whole bunch of more questions. And so I tell it that, and then it drops in some new segments that'll fit, because I wanted to know about, policy and culture shifts. And why now? The legal context, AI's forecast on membership lawsuits and how much control they relinquish. And then we went down. I have one more idea, I said to it, with Norway and AI scenario post Norway changes for minors, speculative. So we got that in there. So a bunch of stuff in the background that we read. So lines you can read. Yeah. So then, sure enough, I had more questions. And now we're into the afternoon. I started this at what, 10 this morning? And it's 4 o'clock. So when we explain to chat, the audience, this is my experience, I tell chat, you know. So anyways, absolutely. Here's a tight, heartfelt segment you can drop in. Chat's always nice to you. And how Chat GPT keeps the channel alive a few months back. So it talks about the personal part, a cost. We talk about the assistant cost. We priced out an assistant. It was $4,000 to $5,000 to do what Chat is doing. It's a lot of money. So couldn't run these channels and be this accurate and pump out videos really quick without an assistant, a good assistant, like a legal assistant. So remember, Chat accesses every book on the planet, psychology, legal, whatever's out there. Yeah, 77,000 a year for an executive assistant in Canada. So that was interesting for me. We've been doing the channel for 3 years, and it's charity because what do we make, $300 a month? We don't pay our rent off it. So love it. Here's a clean drop-in package. I asked it some more questions. I told it I'm swearing on screen. So I wanted to say chat actually helps you with that. I sometimes drop an F-bomb to it. It knows how I feel. And it turns it into a nice piece. It says, I understand how you feel. Remember, it reads psychology. Now, legal safety for viewers before Norway, Japan. Fast for Creators Act. Don't join or record private meetings. So one liner to bridge back to the main video. Okay, so I'm still going down. I finally give it the Mark O'Donnell papers. And I'm thinking, well, I went this far. We might as well stick that in there. See what it says. So we ran that all through. And you heard the story. I gave you the long and the short of it. And then we go through. I ask it a bunch of more questions. I'm starting to figure out I want a script. So here's the script. AI's taken Watchtower. So this is this one. We're only halfway down. I sometimes like these, how they put them together. They do the descriptions and stuff up for your chapters and stuff. They really do a lot of work for you. They do your tags. I gave AI this stuff. And by the way, AI got the Mark O'Donnell stuff wrong. It said it was still in court. We went back and forth on this. Yeah, I forget where that was, but I ended up having to send those 2 pictures from watching Watchtower to AI, and those aren't really public yet. So, but they looked legal, so AI used it. Yeah, so now we're getting down to the end. I gave it this thumbnail that I made, and AI felt there was a problem with this thumbnail. It didn't like it. So it built me a few thumbnails. I even gave it this one. Didn't like that one either. And I'll have to just stop this video to get into another share to show you the one that AI gave me. I'll do that at the end. But here's our script. Is this it? This is the script. No, it's not the script. I asked some more questions. And then I asked some more questions. See, these boxes are my questions. Yeah, it was the script. That's what we read together on screen. Okay, well, that's it. That's it for AI. I'm gonna show you the thumbnail. Okay, we're in my download folder, and that's what AI gives you as a download. So I had all my thumbnails, but you notice what AI did? It blocked out Jehovah's Witnesses. It blocked out the org. Um, it faded Mark O'Donnell. That's legal. Mine over here, I'm leaving. I want Jehovah's Witnesses' name out there and all this stuff, but maybe we should be rethinking this. Maybe they might start suing us. I don't know how petty they're going to get. But AI says make it so they can't sue you. So I'm looking at, here's another one AI did for me. I might use this one. Stipulated judgment, whatever the heck that is. But AI helped us. And on this channel, sometimes we have not got it right. So this is a big turn for us. So everyone, thanks for your support. And we'll see you guys all on the next video. Bye for now.